What is up, home slices? I'm back with another video. As you can see, today we changed up the scenery. I decided to, be one with nature because lockdown is extended. So why don't we just come outside? I know the lighting's not the best because I'm working with natural light. Excuse it. But as you can see by the title, today is going to be a story time about the time I went to Stones, the most eventful time I went to Stones. And so if you're from like Brom, Auckland Park area, you'll know Stones. It's like a nightclub. We call it the Pits because nothing good ever comes from going there, but it's a good time. So this is going to be the story, and I'm going to get straight into the video because I don't want to dwell on Corona. I'm tired now of Corona. So let's get on into the video. So basically there was about like 4 or 5 events that like were the most impactful that night, and a background to the night that led up to it. Basically we just decided to visit one of our friends at his res, and we were talking about how we'd never gone out on a school night, which was, it was still like March, May, so we still had like time to do things, but our friendship group had been moving really, really fast in terms of like partying. So we were really shocked that we hadn't really gone and partied during the school week. So we're like, let's go. And me being the bad influence, because everyone calls me the very bad influence, me and Mbusi are the bad influences of the group, because literally Mbusi will call me and be like, I see, and I'm like, what shit are we fucking up today? So we're the bad influences. So I was like, let's do like a whole weekend thing from Thursday till Sunday, and then we'll take a break on Friday because it's gonna be school. So everyone agreed that that was what we'd do. So then I invited all my friends. I was like, who's keen to come? Then there was like 10 to 12.
No one in the room still.
Did you get food? No.
Including him, the host, and his 2 friends, and one from PTA who were also his roommates. So we go to his place. We bought Red Square because that was like our favorite alcohol to drink at the time, because it gave you Russian beer vibes without the memories, the like Russian beer moments and Russian beer hangover. So it was like a really good vodka. And so we go, we have pre's at his place. It's like fun, it's good times. We're playing every drinking game under the sun. I mean every drinking game under the fucking sun. And so it's good vibes, it's fun. We have probably, we're sloshed, and I was pretty sloshed. I won't even lie, I was really sloshed. And so by the time it's time for us to leave, it's like 11:30, and we can't decide if we want to go to Stones yet, because it usually only starts popping at like 1 o'clock. But we're like, it's fine, we'll see what we do. And so he gets a call from his friends, and they're at Sixes, and I don't know if that's actually what it's called, but basically it's like the Auckland Park version of Long Street, Cape Town. So it's just got like a few restaurants and pubs and like one club. So we're like, okay, cool, we can go there before we go to Stones. So the first event that's like eventful is me and my 2 best friends. It was me, Lani Lavender, who has a YouTube channel. Go follow her. Her channel will be linked in the description. Lani Lavender and my guy best friend were like turning the corner, like talking like big smack, and we gelled really well together. With Lexi also, us 4 gelled really well together. We had like really good connection, but Lani and him had a really good connection. If you're not picking up what I'm putting down, sorry. So Lani at the time unfortunately had a boyfriend, and so 1 minute we're like all chatting whatever, next minute they're making out, and I was like a bit like taken aback. I wasn't shocked because I was expecting it to happen, but I was taken aback a bit because I was like, whoa, I didn't expect it to happen now, because Lani has a man, but he was single and she was a lady and she could do what she wants. And then Lexi was like, oh my word, stop them, tell them not to do that. And I'm like, you know what, they're adults, I can't stop people from doing what they want to do. You can't be that person, because at the end of the day people are going to be like, oh my word, you were the reason why we didn't what, or people will be like, oh, you wanted him, that's why you were not. And it's just, oh, my dog just choked Corona. But yeah, so I did stop her, and I was like, hey, listen, you've got a boyfriend, remember that. And she was just like, and I was like, okay, because I'm the type of person who, I tell you something once, you don't listen to me, I'll tell you again if it's like dire distress. But if you don't listen to me the second time, then I'll just be there for you at the end and just like move on with life. So they make out. So then I just moved to Zintle, who was another person who was like taken in the group. It was only them 2 who had boyfriends. And so I go and I chill by Zintle and Bayanda, and we're chilling. And then Lexi, who is like cute, slim, thick, mommy, shorty, she's so cute, and Tibbo, who was brought in by Lani into the crew, they start making out. And Tibbo's like really handsome, like he's sexy. Guys, all my friends are beautiful. Not to toot the horn, but you girls are pretty. So we basically they start making out, and I'm like shocked because Tibo, we were still like feeding him out into the group, and he was like new, and I hadn't seen Lexi and him have that connection, that chemistry, but they had it that night and they're making out, and literally all of us were really shocked like this was happening. But we move, so we get into the Ubers, we're going to Sixes, but our Uber somehow goes to Stones. We have to go back to Sixes. We get to Sixes, it's cool vibes, but when we get to Sixes, his friends are coming out and like, oh, the vibe is dead, it's closing. So then we're like, oh, okay, we'll go to Stones. And then I'm like, we can walk, in my drunk states, and it's take into consideration like a 20-minute walk, but I mean, when you're drunk you can kind of do anything. But they're like, no, it's fine, we've got cars, we'll take you guys. Okay, cool. We hop into the cars, and we've been, and they've been, and we've all, if you don't get it, we're leaning, like not lean, but like we're, you know, drunk. So we're all and driving, so Betty, please don't actually arrest us. But we get to Stones, and like it was such a fun time. We were like racing cars and like on a two-way road. It's like we were being tweens. And so we get to Stones, and then they're like, they're not feeling the vibes, they're gonna go. So then I'm like, okay, well, I'm feeling the vibes, I'm going in. And so we had like this much of the red square left, and I'm taking gulps, bitch, I'm taking gulps like it's fucking water. I'm like thirsty. Okay, so I'm like leading the pack up, and so there's stairs that go up to Stones, and this guy was standing at the top of the stairs, and he's like catcalling us because he saw us walking past the parking lot as the girls, and he's catcalling us. And there's 5 things on my list that will irritate me and get me to the next level. 1, catcalling you. 2, calling me out of my name, bitch, slut, whore, slave queen, prostitute, whatever. 3, you touch me inappropriately or in a way I don't like. You touch my friends inappropriately or in a way I don't like, or you come for my friends. I will legit pop off. So this guy's catcalling us. 1, don't like it. So I'm like, then we like, he keeps catcalling us. He's like, hey, sexy bitches, all this stuff. And I'm like, no, we don't want you to talk to us. And then he's like, ooh, I like you, you're feisty. And I'm like, no, don't do that. Then his friend in an Adidas shirt, and I'll never forget that fucking Adidas shirt, is like, pulls him away, and he's like, you heard her, you heard that fucking bitch, she said leave them alone. And I'm like, 1, you catcalled me. 2, you're calling me a bitch. So I know, obviously, like as a woman, because I believe in equal rights, I know as a woman I shouldn't hit a man and a man shouldn't hit a woman. But if you can mentally come for me that way, then that means I can mentally come for you. So he could call me a bitch and he doesn't even know me, that means that I can come for you. So I'm like, who the fuck are you calling a bitch? And he's like, I'm calling you a bitch. And I'm like, bitch, you want to start? And then he's like, bitch, I'll end it. And I'm like, okay, cool, let's go. And so obviously, like, I was like trying to go up the stairs, and then my friends were like, don't do it, they were holding me back, and he's like laughing at us, antagonizing us, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna try to keep it calm just so there's no bad vibes. So he leaves, we go into the club, we have a good time, we're dancing, we're grinding, it's working, it's like a really good time. And then eventually I need like fresh air. I'm that Han who like literally, if I go out, I'm the Han who needs like fresh air, because like literally if you've been to Stones, it's so packed, it's like a kind of a small club, and like literally you'll be like while futzing it, and then this man will be like behind you, and you're like, no sir, you're literally 60, get the fuck away from me. So it was really packed, so we go outside to get fresh air.
Girls that out.
Subscribe to Love
Independent bitches. When you didn't make DP. I'm also hungry.
And it's me, Lexi, and Banda who are standing like here, and then Zibo, Leanda, and Lani are standing like here, and the boys are standing at the back. So we're like talking, and then we see this guy start walking from across there. He was standing by some car with his friends. He comes to us and he starts talking to us, but he's like macking on us. He's like, hey, beautiful ladies, I saw you from across there, you guys are so sexy. And we're like, okay, thank you, but we're not feeling him. Then he tries to start macking on us like one by one. Bayanda bats him, Lexi bats him, I bat him, but he's still not getting like the cue that like we want you to leave. So he starts to get a bit like more aggressive in terms of like the way he's like trying to mac on us, like, I want your number, and we're like, no. So I tell him, I'm like, sir, please can you go back to your car, because his friend was like calling him. And then he looks at me and he's like, I wasn't even talking to you, bitch, shut the fuck up. And I'm like, someone else is gonna call me bitch out of someone else is gonna call me bitch again. This man is trying me. And take into consideration, I've never been in a physical altercation, and I've literally got the tiniest hands. My friends always make fun of me. I've got like the tiniest hands out of my whole like squad, and like I'm here like I'm gonna fight men. But like honestly, if like you're coming for me mentally, then I'm gonna come for you mentally. I might get fucking beat up, which I actually swear to, I learned my lesson not to start fights, but like you're not gonna come at me like that, sir. So I'm like, sir, go back to your car, your friends are calling you. So his friend comes over, and when his friend comes over, Tibo also comes over because he can see like things are getting a little bit out of hand. And so he's still like trying to go at us, and he's being aggressive. I don't know what Bayanda said to him, and then he literally like shoves Bayanda, and I'm like, no. First of all, we're tiny compared to this man. All three of us are like literally tiny compared to this man. And like Bayanda's also like, she's really like short and tiny. So now you're picking on like the tiniest girl here, and that's not cute. And you're coming for my friends. You've called me a bitch. You've called me out of my name. You've done 3 things on the fucking list I told you not to do. And now I'm pissed. So he starts getting aggressive. He's calling us bitches, and he's like, and I'm like, sir, go back. We don't want you here. You're fucking ticking us off. And he's like, please shut up. Belling a thing like funi and get funi land. And I'm like, oh my word, you know how niggas get when like they like you reject them, and then they're like, I didn't even want you. And in my head I'm like, why would you even like come here if you didn't want any one of us? So don't even try that, sir. So he starts being really, really aggressive, and he's like in our face. He's throwing middle fingers, so I'm throwing middle fingers back at him. He's like, I'll fight you, bitch. I'm like, fight me, bitch. Fight me, bitch. Fight me, bitch. Hit me, bitch. Hit me, bitch.
Literally realized how crazy I fucking look.
And like Tibo's like in between us, like trying to like defuse the situation, and he's like, no, he's pushing me away. And then the guy like shoves me. He gets over Tibo, and he shoves me, bitches. And I'm like, this man got me all fucked up. So as I'm like lunging to like punch him, which wouldn't have even put a dent in his fucking face, I don't know who the fuck I thought I was, but I'm like lunging to hit him, and sir literally gets backed away by his friend, and my friends are pulling me back, and I'm like, why is everyone pulling me back? And I hate when like I'm like in that moment and people are like pulling me back, because I'm claustrophobic, so I don't want you to be like in my space. And people also, when they pull you back, they like grab on you, and then I bruise, and then the next day it looks like I'm being abused because I've got like handprints from people pulling me back. So I got a bit mad at my friends, and like Zintley is literally shouting in my face. She's like, I see, you need to fucking calm down. And I'm like, no, he's fucking like, and it was just like a mess. But eventually we just like calmed down, and then my friends like, oh my word, they're playing Post Malone inside, let's go. And I'm like, it's my husband. So we go back inside. We dance, we have a good time. It's like good vibes. We're like grinding, we're twerking, we're wild thoughtsing it, we're tootsie shuffling. I don't know what's another thing. Well, okay, yeah, we're doing all of that stuff. And then eventually we decided, we're getting hungry, and Lonnie and my guy best friend were like in the corner sleeping, and it was just like, now it was time to go. So we decided we're gonna walk to McDonald's, then walk back to the hostess res, and then take Ubers from there back to our humble abodes. So when we walk to McDonald's, it's like good vibes.
We're finally at McDonald's, guys. I'm hungry. Do you see the sign? Finally.
Then it's obviously 24 hours, so the only drive-thru is working. So we go to the window where we get food, because we're not in a car. And when we get there, there's no like, what is it called? Oh, the lights are on inside, but like no person's there by the door. So then we're like, okay, we'll just go through the drive-thru. And then we go there, and then I'm like jumping on the road because I'm still a bit tipsy, but I'm like, everything sobered us up. So I'm like jumping there because I'm like, maybe if I can just get the weight of like a car, it will sense, or what will sense. And then nothing happens. So we decided we're just gonna wait till a car comes. And so a car comes, and it's like an Uber, and there's 4 people in the car, the driver and 3 other people. And so Zintley is standing there by the box with Bayanda and Lani. And so we made the mistake, obviously, of not asking, you can please order, because we've been waiting there. So as the woman is like about to, like, she's literally talking like hello, and then Zintley just took over the order. And so the woman gets pissed at us, and she's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm trying to order. So then Zintley explains that we've been trying to order, and she's like, why the fuck did you not ask? So then we're like, why the fuck are you going off at us? And so it became became this thing where obviously it was like a big group of us, and we started antagonizing the situation by like laughing at the woman, and we like, look at this bitch, and we were like laughing at her, and we're like, oh, she's psycho and stuff. And then she started getting really angry. She's like, I won't be disrespected by 2000s. These fucking 2000s are coming for me. And like we were like just laughing at her. We're like, why are you being like that? Like, oh my word, relax. And you know, we're the meme generation, so if we could make memes about her, we would have. And she just got really, really pissed at us. And then eventually she ordered and she walked away, and they drove away. And as they're driving away, there's about 4 things that were said. Someone said like, okay, 2 people said like really, really bad words in Zulu, like really bad words, like you could fuck someone up for saying. And then I was like, oh my word, she's a crazy fucking bitch. And so I don't know which one of those that antagonized her, but she heard one of them. Oh, and then one of the boys at the back were just like, we're not even scared of you. And so the Uber stops, and she gets out the car, and so she comes, we were standing on the curb, and so she comes past us on the curb, and she's like, who said it? And she's saying it in Zulu. She's like, who said it? So I'm like, oh no, honey, this cannot be my like 4th fight tonight. Like, there's no fucking way that I'm getting fought with all the time. Like, there's something wrong with me then, obviously, because like, why does everyone want to fight me? So she's like, who said it? And I'm like, no, don't come for me. Ask me, did you say this and this and this or not? Don't be like, who said it? So then she's like that, and then I just like looked at her like, you're crazy bitch. And then she goes straight to the boys at the back, and she's like, was it you? And so the boy says it. He's like, yeah, I said I'm not scared of you. And she's like, repeat that. And he said, we're not scared of you. And then she's like, you must remember that I'm not afraid of you. A bottle can crack right now.
Understand ukuthi ngokusabi.
Yeah.
Ibhodela nje ngavele likhale yabona.
I would literally smash a bottle right now. And they were like, no, we don't want you to go to jail. And they were like pushing her back, and I'll insert a video, and I'm like, yes, queen, because I'm like, women empowerment, tell them you're not afraid. And then she's like, I'm not afraid to go to jail. I've been to jail before. Everything went silent. When she said she'd been to jail before, I was like, this woman is hood. I was like, it's better to get into a fight with people you don't know where they've been, what they have, what weapons they contain. But going into a fight knowing she'd been to jail, and she'd literally been in jail with like the hardest woman in South Africa, she could legit kill me with one punch. I tapped out. I was like, this woman is not going to get involved with me, because I will not fucking survive. So they push her back, and we're like, go back into your car, like you're being ratchet, like you're really being ratchet right now. So she goes back, and then she acts like she's getting into the Uber, but she's actually taking a bottle. Guys, she had a quart, you know, 1/4 of Black fucking Label. Bro, she literally got out with that bottle, and we were all like, what the fuck? And she literally like smashes it on the floor, and she's holding the stem, and she's like, I'll fucking kill you guys. You fucking 2000s think you're the fucking shit. And we're all looking at her like, what the fuck? And so when she smashed it, we all like, I stepped back, because I was like, I'm not about that life. I've been stabbed in the foot by like a bottle this big, and I had like this much in my foot, and that was hurtful. So imagine now when like she stabs me, like, I'm young, I can't die. And so she's like, in our faces, she's like, I'll fucking stab you. And we're telling her friends in the back, we're like, come get your friend, what the fuck, come get your friend. And then they're like, you are antagonizing her, you started it. And we're like, bitch, she started it. We were just trying to order fucking food. Like, get your friend, she's being ratchet. And imagine like that in the paper, like random woman kills Wit students. Like, it's gonna be a bit sad, you know, you're gonna look a bit, but it's cool. So her friends get her, and they put her inside, and then as the Uber's like driving away, it stops again. She gets out again, because we started like laughing about the situation. We're like, oh my word, this woman actually almost killed us. And the funniest part actually was like, by the booth there was Lani, Bayanda, and Sinclair. And Lani, like, she was like talking the biggest hype about how like she wouldn't mind being in a fucking fight, and she could like fight a bitch. And like they were all hiding behind a booth. Like no one else had like protection of a booth. We were all just like, oh my god. Like, we stepped back, but we had like no other protections. If she did come for us, she could rightfully so come for us. So that was a funny part. And then she gets out, and she has another cart. I'm like, guys, how is this woman having like literally 10 bottles of Black Label? So she takes out another gourd and she throws it at us, and like shards of glass are going everywhere, and she's like, I'm not fucking afraid of you, and she's just going off, and she's like, I fucking hate you 2000s, you think you run the world. And we're all like, what the hell? Like, whoever stole her man that was a 2000, look at what you've done now, because this woman is literally gonna fucking kill us. And so eventually her friends get her into the car, and we're just not fazed by her anymore, because we're like, you're acting fucking ridiculous right now. And they get her into the car, and then it drives off, and we're all like, we just all started laughing, because we're like, literally that woman could have actually like killed all of us.
Tell them that Zinke was the reason why people almost got fucking beat up.
And it always happens.
Because she wanted to order for
I just wanted.
But like, she couldn't have, because like there was a lot of us, so she came for she could have like obviously stabbed one of us, and then that's when the fight would have broke out. And we're laughing at Lani, because Lani was just like, after, she's like, that woman's so ratchet, I would have fought her if she didn't have the bottle, I'd have fought if she didn't have the bottle. And we're just like all giggling, like we're giggling so hard. We're like, there's no way that like we literally almost gotten into like 4 fights tonight, and like the last one, it wasn't me. We eventually got our food, we walked back, and like people were like having races in the road, and Panda's doing like cartwheels in the road. It was just like a really, really fun fucking time. But like, I think it was the most eventful time that
Am I okay? Because clearly I'm glitching.
probably the most fights I've ever almost been in. And it was just very confusing when like people were making out, and like that woman who almost killed us, like it's like how many people can say there was like some random woman in an ANC fucking hat looking ratchet as fuck that tried to kill a whole group of students?
Probably a lot. I'm so self-centered.
Just like, not a lot of people can say that. So we eventually got home at like 5, and we had to go to class at like 8, and we were literally hanging. We were literally all in class with shades on, like, and the teacher was like, you guys at the back, and we were like, and it was just like a fucking mess. But we didn't go out the rest of the week. I think we went out on Saturday at like Great Dane, but that was like my most eventful times at Stones. It was a really great time. Well, I have come to the end of today's video. If you enjoy that story time, comment down below if you want more. I wish it was obviously with the squad, but unfortunately lockdown got us tight. But I will see you guys in another 2 weeks, and I hope you guys stay safe, keep washing those hands, keep social distancing, and hopefully by the time this video the next video comes out, they'll have lifted the bans a little bit, because I miss my friends and I just want to make normal videos with my friends. So hopefully that will be done. So I'll see you guys next 2 weeks. Love you, bitches.